Just scoreline. It could have been 6 or 7. You know, Aaron's made a lot of saves tonight as well.
I did say that at half-time, didn't I?
Yeah.
Just why I had to put that in there.
I know.
Sorry, David.
No, it was exceptional. And, you know, they're everything that you'd want a Premier League champion to be. They're top class from back to front.
Yeah.
Like, exceptional goalkeeper. They've probably got the most informed striker in the world right now. Right the way through the... A special mention for their coach as well, for Pep Guardiola. I mean, yes, you can have very good players, but lots of teams have got very good players. Lots of teams spend an awful lot of money on their players, but the way he moulds that team, they're just poetry, aren't they? To watch them, you can just see all these intricate patterns of play, and they are a joy. And now they're purring. It's going to take a real top team to stop them.
Well, it was a real top performance and an outstanding result from Manchester City. It was always the headline act of tonight, but some other important things have happened as well after last night, of course, when Leicester grabbed a point late on at Leeds. Villa won again. That is 5 consecutive home wins for them against Fulham, and Wolves beating Crystal Palace. So tonight, Nottingham Forest, who've gone 11 without a Premier League win, have beaten Brighton by 3 goals to 1. I'll show you in a moment what that does to the league table. Chelsea, under Frank Lampard, played 5, lost 5, 2-0 today. They've lost to Brentford, who of course won at Stamford Bridge last season as well. That is Chelsea's worst run, incidentally, in 30 years, losing 5 in a row. Liverpool have won again, 3 in a row, at West Ham, who'd only lost 1 of their last 7 at home, 2-1 to Jurgen Klopp's side, and of course that emphatic result at the Etihad. 3 crucial games still to bring you in this Premier League week in Thursday's Matchday Live. Third place Newcastle are at Everton, deep in trouble and in the relegation zone. The bottom club Southampton welcome Bournemouth on the south coast, and of course Manchester United in 4th against Spurs, who've seen Liverpool go level on points with them tonight in the late kick-off at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So, Nottingham Forest are the big movers tonight. That is how crucial just a 7th league win of the season is. They go level on points with Leeds. They go out of the drop zone, a point clear of Leicester, who drop back into it, 2 clear of Everton, who of course do have that game in hand, but that's at home to Newcastle tomorrow. And the bottom club Southampton suddenly 6 from safety. West Ham remain on 34 points, 5 above the drop zone. So, Liverpool up to 6th, level on points with Spurs, having played 32 games. But the gap at the top is cut to 2 points with 2 games in hand for Manchester City. And in terms of the Premier League, we already knew that Burnley were coming back. They, of course, were crowned champions of the Championship last night. We must say congratulations to Sheffield United as well, and welcome back to them. They have been promoted tonight back to the Premier League after a 2-year absence. They've beaten West Brom 2-0 at home. So Sheffield United and Burnley will be back on our Premier League.
Thanks very much. John, did we see something special tonight? That was a display of near total control against your nearest rivals.
Yeah, I wouldn't say total control. I think we've got to give them a lot of respect and credit. I think, you know, we didn't play the football that we normally do. I think they, from both sides, I think we had man-to-man pressure, and it was very difficult to play our usual passes, and we tried to counter that with going into Erling. But I think the desire and how clinical we were tonight, I think we could have had a few more as well. Bit disappointed with the goal at the end, but I think I'm just made up with the 3 points at the end of the game.
Yeah, Kevin, you came out flying, didn't you? You set the tone very early.
Yeah, I think well, in the beginning we trained a little bit on the goal kick and how we could deal with that, and I think we had a couple of chances that way. And then, you know, when they play man-to-man, we just have to go a little bit longer because there's no place to play short passes. But I think yeah, the first half was really good, and like John said, we could have scored more, but luckily the second goal isn't offside, so that changed a little bit the game. And then I think after 3-0,
just a toenail away.
Time to
it's a great header, by the way.
So yeah, I think in the second half it was probably about 50-50, but I don't think we gave much away to them. And you know, they're a very class team and hard to play against. And we had to be at our best today, and I think we were.
They couldn't control you and Erling swapping places, and he was providing for you, as normally it's the other way around.
Yeah, I think we set up a little bit differently, where maybe we would have 2 number 8s, and now I had a little bit more the freedom to go either left and right, see where the space was, depending on who was putting pressure from them between Partey and Xhaka, and then trying to find space.
Does the fact that you've got experience, you know what this Premier League obstacle race is like, well, a lot of the players in the side have been there before, does that give you a big advantage?
I would say a big advantage. I think we've been through tough moments and tough situations at this stage of a season in the past, and I think it's done us so well. I think we know how to cope with situations, what to do in certain scenarios, and it's just experience of being in those situations. I think everyone's been there and everyone's got that hunger, and I think days like today, and I think there's a lot of pressure from the outside. We kind of train and know our jobs and what is asked of us when we're out on the pitch, and it's about us going out there and doing it today. And I think, as you said, those situations really do help in big pressure moments.
A big pressure moment, a big game. Have you got one hand on the trophy, a couple of fingers maybe?
It's too long.
You know the answer to that.
It's too long. Honestly, we know what people would say, whoever win this game, but I think it's so hard, and a lot of things can happen. It's still 7 games. That's a lot of points, and we're still. I know we're 2 games ahead, but we're still behind them. So, people will say that we will win the title now, but I know this team, and we will not give in until it's mathematically could be done. But our schedule is hectic. There's a lot of things going on, so now we have to prepare ourselves for Sunday on Fulham.
Well done. Last duty, John, if you could pass that to Kevin, player of the match. Tremendous.
Well done, Kev.
Well done, gents. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
2 goals to 0 at half-time at the Etihad. Was that a uncomfortable first half watch for you there, David?
It was. We got off. What are you laughing at? We got off to the worst start. After 8 minutes, we conceded a goal. And if I'm honest, sometimes you have to just say, right, City have played brilliantly. But with the goal right near the end was a real harsh one to concede from a set piece. I think Ben White gets pushed into that to keeping John Stones onside right at the end, but it's a tough watch at the moment.
If you've been critical, should it be more than 2 for City?
I personally would have said 7 myself, but
He's gloating halfway through, David.
Ramsdale's been
Might not
done.
make the second half.
Ramsdale, I think, has done quite well, particularly in some of the areas. It should have been 3 or 4, if I'm being honest. But when you got a keeper like Ramsdale, you expect him to save some of them. He did, but in general, I don't really get the way Arsenal are playing, to be honest with you. I think they're against a team like City, you're either going to press, for me, or you're going to drop off a little bit. I feel like they're in the middle. They're half pressing, and I found it was quite passive. There wasn't really any aggressiveness towards it, which is allowing Kevin and Haaland to basically run the show. Kevin's taking their midfielders and defenders all over the place, and they're allowing it to happen. And
it took them just 7 minutes, Michael. We're used to De Bruyne assists for Haaland, but not the other way around. This is the first time it's happened in the Premier League.
Well, Sean mentioned maybe they're half pressing, and this might be the reason, because they've gone long once, and all of a sudden, what do you do when they go long? You try to press them, and if they've got options, then you're struggling. I mean, it's an unbelievable goal from Manchester City's point of view. We look here at the long ball. They're just playing around the back to start with, but then Arsenal start with the press, and eventually they have 3-4 players in the final third, and Manchester City go long. But just have a look at Partey there with Kevin De Bruyne, the eventual goal scorer. He lets him run, but the main culprit, I feel, here is holding. You can be very, very aggressive in this situation. You've got a man, Gabriel, right in behind you. Either win the ball or give a foul away. Get everybody behind the ball again. But once you're be very, very aggressive in this situation. You've got a man, Gabriel, right in behind you. Either win the ball or give a foul away. Get everybody behind the ball again. But once you're half-heartedly put in a challenge and the big man brings the ball down exquisitely well, then all of a sudden they're turned and you're in big trouble.
Just to clear this up, David, is there anything Aaron Ramsdale could have done here more?
No, because with Kevin De Bruyne, he's got both. He's got the whip, and then he's got that one that goes down the side of the post as well. So you can't gamble, you can't guess. You know, and it goes from out situations.
That is the 7th goal in Kevin De Bruyne's career against Arsenal, more than any other club. He enjoyed that one inside 7 minutes. Now, Sean, you said this was tight, right? From the first kick.
Yeah, I thought it felt like they were going to score. They were in the ascendancy. But when you got people like Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva on the ball, you know deliveries like this can come in. And I think Akanji there just runs into him. I feel like White has to stand his ground. Then he wouldn't be offside, where he would have been offside. But the ball in and the header, for me, from Stones was superb. Right back across the face of the keeper. The keeper can't do nothing. They're at the perfect height.
There's the line. Ian Husson raised his flag, the referee's assistant.
And it's not that close, is it? I mean, when I saw it in first sight, I thought that's just offside. But you see there, the line proves that he's quite conclusively onside there. And as Sean said before, I think probably justifiably Manchester City go in at 2-0 down. I was about to say at half-time, how's it only 1? I think 2-0 is probably a fair reflection.
Just towards the end of the first half, we saw a yellow card there for Ruben Diaz in that incident with Ben White.
It's a soft red card, if I'm honest. You know, he doesn't like really give him a good hit, but he doesn't lash out, but he flicks out with his studs, and you know, that's all my England captain gets out on for something like that.
So then why didn't Ben?
My England captain gets out on for something like that.
So then why didn't Ben White he was kicking him while he was down? Why has he not got nothing for that?
Where?
At the beginning, look, before he gets there, you're just trying to get a City player.
It's like retaliation, isn't it? Can't retaliate.
You happy with the yellow?
Petulance,
Yeah.
I would call it, and that's a yellow card, yeah.
OK, so they are still 11v11, but...
صلاح أصنع أهدافا أكثر من زملائي واسم يونايتد مستفز. أكد المصري محمد صلاح نجم ليفربول الإنجليزي أنه يصنع أهدافا لمصلحة فريقه أكثر من زميله روبرتو فيرمينو وترينت ألكسندر أرلوند. مرحبا بتعاقد ليفربول مع مهاجمين جدد، كونه يحتاج إلى منافسين يبقونه على قمة مستواه. وظهر الهداف المصري في مقابلة مع النجم الإنجليزي السابق ريو فيرديناند عبر قناة بي تي سبورت للحديث عن عدة أمور، إذ كشف أن مانشستر يونايتد كان من أصعب المنافسين، وأن زميله فيرمينو وألكسندر أرلون كان يسخران منه عندما لم يستطع التسجيل في مرمى الشياطين الحمر. وقال صلاح في الموسمين الأولين لي مع ليفربول عانيت أمام مانشستر يونايتد، وكان فيرمينيو وترينت يسخران مني طوال الوقت ويذكراني بعدم قدرتي على هز الشباك ليخرج أفضل ما عندي أمامه. ولعب صلاح 12 مباراة مع ليفربول أمام مانشستر يونايتد وسجل 12 هدفا في شباك الفريق الأحمر، كما قدم 4 تمريرات حاسمة. وواصل: ما زال الأمر معهما كما هو، فعلى سبيل المثال سيقولان لي ماذا سيفعل بك كانسيلو في المباراة المقبلة، أو انظر إلى لوك شاو ماذا ستفعل أمامه في المباراة. وأتبع النجم المصري: لكني في المقابل استفزهما بالتأكيد أنني أصنع أهدافا أكثر منهما، لكن بكل تأكيد نحن نمزح مع بعضنا. وحول تعاقدات ليفربول في خط الهجوم أجاب: أتمنى دائما أن يسجل داروين نونيوز الأهداف، وكذلك جوتا وفيرمينيو ولويس دياز، فأنا أحتاج إلى المنافسة الصحية مع زملائي، لأن هذا الأمر يدفعني لأن أعمل بجد أكبر وأن أحرز أهدافا أكثر من أي شخص في ليفربول.